Some find it disturbing that the elite of each generation leave to serve a foreign army. But not John Cross, an ex-Gurkha colonel who went back to live in Nepal and lectures at Kathmandu University.
What we don't do is we don't go into the mountains of someone else's country, take a fellow by the nose and say, you're going to be our soldier. It's entirely their volition. And whether it's hardship or the sense of adventure or because they can't get their act correct in their own country is of no concern to the recruiter who wants what he knows is good material. And if a Nepali, a high-ranking Nepali, for instance, might think it's wrong to give people to another country to fight, to lose blood, I can only tell you what Pandit Nehru, in his wisdom in the early 50s, said when the Indian Lok Sabha said, why should we have our country used as a passageway for these mercenaries going to the dreadful British Army, etc. And Pandit Nehru said, until the Nepalese can give as high a standard in Nepal to the people the British recruit, until that happens, I will let them through.
The 700 candidates have been whittled down to 400 and the tension is palpable. This is prize day, but for fewer than half of them. The final selection process is conducted outside the Gurkhas' compound. This is to thwart any remonstrance by rejects who feel they've been unfairly treated. The winners might have come up in the national lottery, which, when their indelible markings have been verified, they have. They can't wait to get in. A few rip off their coats or cheap wristwatches to give to a less fortunate friend. The British Army will now provide. By Nepali standards, they're now rich, insulated for life against everything except the winds of war. They will have fine uniforms and civilian clothes, good food, medical attention, and after 15 years, a pension. The passing into the compound is itself symbolic. Acceptance into an exclusive club festooned with battle honours, renowned for bravery. A few of the rejected can rustle up that no hard feelings look. Well, maybe next year. Inside, there is frantic, in some cases perplexing activity, writing farewell notes to the relatives they won't see for at least 3 years. They don't spring from an acquisitive society, but if they believed in Christmas, this would be Christmas Day. Off come the battered thongs, to be replaced by kit that for many will be the first words of English they'll ever speak.
Shoes Highlander, hey?
Shoes Highlander. Shoes Highlander.
SPT red. SPT green.
Vest, PT, green. It can now be a puzzling world. There is, for example, the ultimate challenge of new technology, the shoelace. Everything is an exciting discovery, but can they imagine what lies ahead?
It will change my life because we'll get something from British Army and we'll serve them. I'll help my family from poverty.
What does he expect England to be like? What does he hope to see there?
I think England is a very big city, big country. There are my big city. I like to see that cities. And I like to see that big buildings. In Nepal we don't have that kind of building. So I like to see that.
The Yak man already knows everything about England.
He says England is a development country and he says it's very cold places.
Just what you'd expect from a chap who comes from Everest. Is there anything he wants to see?
He says that he would like to see the how is in the England the animals, what kind of animals are there. Saudis, yaks milk is made up by yak's milk.
In case English restaurants don't come up to scratch, he's brought his own food. Yak's milk cheese, hard as marble, though it doesn't taste as good. Old Army sweats will notice something missing here. No bawling, screaming or obscenity on the barrack square. There's a warm affinity between NCOs and men. The reason is that the men don't need to be motivated. They already are.
First time while I reached to training depot, and my section commander was there, but I didn't know. And he called me up in a bad language. And I was surprised, really surprised. What sort of people are here who even don't know how to speak to the people? That is my experience.
All the section commander, they used to talk rude words. That I know that word. That's why. No exciting.
Rude words?
Yeah.
Why do you think they did that?
Because if they call, if they don't use rude words, they cannot. They cannot make soldier from the civilian.
Equally, the British officers have to adapt to native Gurkha attitudes and customs. There's no place for patronising haughtiness.
Full nudity when you're washing is not tolerated at all. The boys, in fact, probably wash all the time with their swimming trunks on. You never point at anyone at any time. If you're pointing, you have to use your thumb. Or if you're pointing, someone asks you where something is, you'll see a lot of the Gurkhas pointing with their chin. Depending on how close or far away that is, if they're far away, they'll make a big gesture with their chin, and if they're close, they'll just jerk their head in their direction. There are other ones. You would never ever touch any of your soldiers' necks or shoulders, because they believe that in Nepalese tradition, if you touch someone else's neck or shoulders, then you'll make them be ill. They'd probably get a goiter or something growing on their neck. If you do inadvertently touch someone's neck, or have to for a reason, to get rid of the evil spirit that you've put into them, you have to blow on your fingers. Just a quick blow on your fingers afterwards.
At the end of their basic training, a pandit administers the oath of allegiance. They're mercenaries, they have a king of their own, and yet there's no more solemn moment in their lives. I swear I will be faithful and bear allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, in person and with dignity against all enemies. I will obey all orders of Her Majesty and of the generals and officers set over me. And they mean it. Under an aquiline stare, they are to come face to face, albeit by photograph, with the person to whom they have pledged their very lives. A few weeks ago, many of them were unaware even that the British monarch was a woman. They touched the Union flag in endorsement of their oath. Who knows what history has in store for them? One young Gurkha couldn't suppress a nervous giggle. He was brusquely admonished. But they do have a sense of humour.
A Gurkha would rather laugh than eat, or that was the impression that we got. Most of them used to carry catapults, and they would hide and as you went by, they would snipe you with their catapults. And if you shouted, "Idarao, Johnny, I can see you," you know, the little head would come out giggling, and then he would hold up his catapult as much as say, "This is what I did it with," you know, as if you didn't know. And you couldn't take offence. I mean, you just couldn't. It would have probably been very dangerous apart from anything else.